This is Howard Dawson Reserve, a public park during the week but transformed to the home of football club Swinburne FC every Sunday. Founded in 1977, the club now play in the Metropolitan Leagues of Victoria and are entirely self-run, making for one of the most tight-knit communities you could imagine. From their achievements on-field to their many platforms of off-field success, Swinburne FC have become a pioneer of community sport.
We want some good players, then we just want guys who even have never played before, because we just want to be that club where anyone can play. So it's really important that we just accept anyone, regardless of your skill base. My name's Thomas Birchsmith, and I'm the president here at Swinburne FC. I joined the club in 2021, really keen to play soccer again. I played at school and was really keen to get involved. Yeah, and instantly just loved it. I mean, I was just a player in 2021, and it just made logical sense, like a lot of people, just to join Swinburne FC.
Being a president at a club like this is always a big job because you're doing it as a volunteer, and there's been a lot of really good people over the years that have done it. But yeah, the current one, Thomas Birchsmith, he does a very good job. He loves the club, and yeah, it's good to see him thriving in that role.
So the club's run with a committee. I think there's about maybe 8-9 people on the committee, and basically that's just where the decisions are made. So there's like a group of executives, myself, vice president, treasurer and secretary, which makes some of the bigger decisions like for coaching and finances. And then we have a range of other committee members that help run our social media, our relationship with the university. It's all volunteers. It's all just people pitching in, even people who aren't in the committee, just happy to lend a hand. It's much appreciated.
I'm Jamie. So I've been here 6 years and my role is sponsorship coordinator at the moment. So it's sort of slightly different for our club because I guess we're a uni club, so we don't have a lot of business owners. So it takes a fair bit of work sort of approaching businesses and trying to, I guess you got to show them that we can give them value. Obviously they're giving us value by sponsoring us. So you got to find a way to make them part of the club. There's a lot of little sponsors, but they all go a really long way in sort of helping a club of this size, particularly at this level.
Despite only being an amateur football club, Swinburne conduct themselves like a professional team in terms of their media presence, and it has allowed for tons of growth and fun to be had.
For me, it's really big just because that was the first role I did when I joined the committee. I did social media in 2022. We've just kind of made it like where we have a lot of good content and we're just always trying to do different things. And especially when we have a lot of young people, like we should have a nice social media. It should reflect better than other clubs that don't have that. Yeah, it's a big part of what we do. I'd say, look, I can't speak for a lot of clubs because I don't know their setup, but it'd be very different. I think a lot of clubs that are run by young people is very different in the sense that everyone, the president's still playing or the secretary, the treasurer. It's very different when you come to other clubs and the people who take up those roles are in their 50s, 40s, 60s, whatever. So,
on top of all this, the club have also had to overcome some severe challenges, one of which being transitioning to play Sunday League amateur football instead of state league competition on Saturdays.
A club previously has gone for not necessarily promotion, but it played on Saturdays. It's a little bit more intense. So these days it's a bit more relaxed, but I think people have fun.
When I first joined, we started a Sunday League team, which were known as our thirds team. Fast forward to today, we only have teams on a Sunday, which I think is a good place to be in for a club of our level, purely because it's a bit more accessible to different people. And it also means we're all playing on the same day, which means that we can all kind of foster a bit of a closer relationship.
I think as a university club, the Sunday League teams are a really good fit with sort of the uni culture. But there is a group of players at the club that want to take this as seriously as possible. And with that in mind, I think a crack at the state leagues wouldn't be the worst thing. But the most important thing is keeping that core group of players with the sort of ambition to play at the highest level possible around. And without that, it does make it tricky. But as long as that's there, I think it's an option.
Having all teams play on a Sunday means your first, second, thirds, and whatever teams you have from there, the women's as well. But yeah, from a culture perspective, I think Sunday's always been the best bet, and that's probably why we stuck with it.
Since I have been here, I definitely would say that to other people to get down to Swinburne FC because of the culture that we uphold here. So yeah, it's an absolute pleasure always coming down to training on Tuesdays, Thursdays, playing on a Sunday. It's just great being with all the boys.
I moved here to Melbourne from Bendigo a long time ago, and I didn't know anyone when I was here, but since joining the club, I've made some of my best mates here, and yeah, that social side is really good. So yeah, come down, have a kick with some like-minded people, and you might make some friends.
We mean really well. We mean really well. We're really trying to be fun. We do lots of things. We try and do a podcast. We try and film our games. We have people taking photos. We do stupid social media stuff. So I can guarantee you'll have fun.
The most important thing and the most significant thing about our club is, I think, the culture. I think everyone from the first through the thirds is really, really close. There's some good footballers at this club. There's some very average footballers at this club, and it doesn't really matter because we're all great mates. We train together, we play together, we watch each other play, and I think that's what it's all about when you're playing at this level. And it's a great place to be.